Have you ever seen a younger woman smile at an older man and wondered what it really meant? Was it just a polite gesture, a moment of kindness, or was there something deeper, something unspoken yet undeniably powerful happening in that small exchange? Most people would brush it off. Some would assume it's just manners, nothing more than a fleeting nicety. Others might jump to conclusions, attaching assumptions about money or status. But what if I told you that smile wasn't random? What if I told you it was a signal, quiet but unmistakable, a reflection of something almost forgotten in today's world? Because in a culture obsessed with youth, speed, and the constant chase for the next big thing, there's something sacred about stillness, about certainty, about presence. And when a younger woman smiles at an older man, she may not even fully understand why she does it, but instinct does. It sees what the world often misses. And if you're watching this right now, do me a favor, drop your location in the comments. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Because this message, it's going to change how you see yourself. Let's get into it. That smile, that brief glance, that subtle, almost invisible moment. It's not always about romance. It's not always about admiration. Sometimes it's just recognition, not of fame, not of wealth, but of something deeper. A man who is grounded, a man who has lived. Because women, especially younger women, are often drawn to what's stable, to what feels solid, in a world that often feels chaotic, unpredictable, and overstimulating. A man who has navigated life and remained steady, that man becomes magnetic. She might not say it, she might not even be fully aware of it, but something in her feels it. And what she feels is your energy, not your job title, not your car, not your bank account, your energy, your steadiness, your presence. When a man carries himself with quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need to shout or compete, he begins to stand out, not in a flashy way, in a foundational one. Because what most men don't realize is that with time, if they've lived right, comes a certain kind of power. Not the loud, look at me kind, but the kind that doesn't flinch under pressure. And in a room full of people trying to be heard, the one who doesn't need to speak commands the most attention. You see, many older men have been tricked by culture, told their value decreases with age, that their time has passed, that the spotlight now belongs to someone else. But that's a lie, because if you've spent your life building discipline, resilience, emotional intelligence, if you've made mistakes, suffered loss, taken risks, and grown through them, you've gained something younger men don't yet have: depth. And no matter what the media says, people still recognize it, especially women. That smile isn't random, it's a nod to something she sees in you, even if she can't put it into words. And maybe you've noticed it before, but you brushed it off, because you've been conditioned to think you're invisible, to believe that with every birthday, you fade further into the background. But let me tell you something. The only reason some men become invisible with age is because they stop showing up. Not physically, energetically. They stop standing tall. They stop leading. They stop believing they matter. And that's when the world stops looking at them. Not because of their age, because of their energy. You don't disappear because you get older. You disappear because you've forgotten how to carry yourself like you still matter. And the world? It reflects that belief right back to you. But here's the good news. You can change that right now by remembering that everything you've been through wasn't a detour. It was preparation. That younger woman's smiling at you. She's responding to something, to how you walk, to how you hold your gaze, to the way you don't need approval to feel worthy. She may be young, but instinct runs deeper than age. She's not smiling because you remind her of someone younger. She's smiling because you've built something younger men are still chasing. Presence, composure, substance. You've seen things, survived things, learned things. You've been broken and rebuilt, and you're still here. That means something. But the tragedy is this. Too many men don't know what they carry. They see their reflection and only notice what's faded. They don't see what's been refined. They don't see that their silence is stronger than noise, that their patience speaks louder than pride. And when they fail to see it in themselves, they miss it in others too. They miss the smiles. They miss the recognition. They miss the quiet, powerful moments that say, "I see you." So let's set the record straight. Being older doesn't mean being out of the game. It means playing a different one. One where depth wins, where emotional strength dominates, where calmness in chaos becomes the most attractive quality in the room. And women, real women, know this. They're not all looking for wild ambition. They're looking for something they can trust, something they can lean on. Not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. A man who knows who he is. Because confidence isn't loud, it's consistent, and presence doesn't demand attention. It holds it. So the next time a younger woman smiles at you, don't be quick to dismiss it. It's not about ego. It's not about romance. It's not even always about you. It's about what you represent. You're not just a man who's older. You're a man who's made it through fire. And that's what she sees. She sees a man who doesn't need to prove anything, because he's already proven everything to himself. And whether she understands that consciously or not, her instincts pick up on it. That's not a fantasy. That's biology. That's psychology. That's real. So stop apologizing for your age. Stop thinking the best years are behind you. Stop living like you're winding down, because you're not. You're just arriving at the part of your life where your value is highest, if you know how to carry it. And if you're still here, listening, really taking this in, that means you're one of the few who's ready to step back into that presence. So comment below. Let me know if this landed for you. And don't forget, subscribe, because we're not done here. Not even close. You've still got fire left. You've still got something to give. And the world, whether it says it or not, still needs what you've built inside. Carry it like it matters, because it does. And people are watching, even when you think they're not, even when it's just a smile, especially when it's just a smile. Here's what most people never tell you. You can't fake what time gives you. You can fake confidence. You can fake charm. You can even fake success. But wisdom, composure, that deep, silent power that only comes from years of being tested, that's earned. And when a younger woman sees that in a man, it's not something she can explain. It's not something she can post about or pin down in words. But she knows. She feels it. You see, younger men often walk into rooms trying to prove something. They're loud with their ambition. They want to be noticed, validated, admired. But a man who's lived through fire, who no longer seeks permission to take up space, he becomes undeniable. He doesn't dominate the room. He owns it by simply being in it. And that is why some younger women smile. Because deep down, they're not just looking for fun. They're looking for safety. Not just physical safety, emotional safety. They want to know that when life gets heavy, when things fall apart, there's someone who won't flinch. A man who's already been there, who knows how to hold it together when everyone else falls apart. And older men who haven't given up, who've stayed connected to their purpose. They become the ones people gravitate toward. Now here's the part that stings for some men. Not every older man gets that smile, because age alone doesn't create presence. Just getting older doesn't make you magnetic. Time only works in your favor if you've used it, if you've grown instead of retreated, if you've refined instead of rusted, because bitterness ages a man faster than years ever could. Resentment eats away at presence, but gratitude, stillness, purpose, those keep you powerful. You can be 60 and still light up a room. You can be 70 and still draw admiration. You can be 80 and still command respect. If you've kept that fire alive, So ask yourself, what story are you living in? Are you the man who believes his value peaked in his youth? Or are you the man who knows he's just now becoming the version he was always meant to be? Because that shift in belief, that's where everything changes. That's when you start walking differently, carrying yourself differently, speaking with more weight. And yes, smiles start to come your way. But let me be clear, this isn't about chasing attention. This is about embodying the kind of man who naturally draws it. You don't get presence by looking for it. You get presence by earning it, by staying in the fight, by getting up one more time, by learning how to be still in a world that never stops moving. Younger women pick up on that, not through logic, but through instinct. And it's not always about wanting you. Sometimes it's about seeing you. And in today's world, that's even more rare. So what are they seeing really? They're seeing a man who doesn't move for approval, who doesn't need to be the loudest voice, who's not afraid of silence. They're seeing a man who's made peace with his past, who carries both his regrets and his wins without letting either define him. They're seeing a man who listens more than he speaks, who pauses before he reacts, who knows when to step forward and when to let things unfold. That kind of man isn't common, but he's unforgettable. And the truth is, the world doesn't need more men pretending to be perfect. It needs men who are honest about where they've been, who've made peace with their scars, who've forgiven themselves for not knowing better at the time, because that's where real power lives. In ownership, in growth, in integrity. Younger women smile at older men who've done that inner work, because their energy doesn't feel threatening. It feels steady. There's a weight to it, a gravity, and that's attractive. Not in the flashy, temporary way, but in the slow, magnetic, timeless way. You see, we live in a time where everyone's chasing attention, but attention isn't the same as respect. You don't demand respect. You live in a way that invites it. And when you do, that's when you start to notice those subtle moments. The smile, the glance, the shift in tone when someone speaks to you. It all begins to change. Because you changed. Not by becoming someone else, but by becoming more of who you were always meant to be. So, what does this mean for you now? It means the next chapter of your life. It's not about trying to be young again. It's about being the man who no longer needs youth to feel powerful. It means you don't chase approval anymore. You embody what deserves it. You don't need everyone to like you. You need to like who you've become. And when you carry that, people feel it. They might not always say it. They might not even know what they're reacting to, but they feel safer around you, more seen, more grounded. That is presence. And that is why the smile matters. It's not validation, it's reflection. It reflects what you're putting out into the world, not just through your words, but through your stillness, your steadiness, your self-respect. So let this be your reminder. You are not behind. You are not invisible. You are not out of time. You are right on schedule, if you choose to own the man you've become. So walk like it. Speak like it. Carry yourself like a man who still has something to say, because you do, and people are listening, even when you think they're not, especially when they smile. So if this spoke to you, if something deep inside you lit up while listening, drop a comment below. Tell me what part hit hardest, and tell me where you're tuning in from. We're building something powerful here, and it starts with men like you choosing to show up again. So subscribe, stick around, because this isn't just content, it's a calling. And if you're still here, it's because you're ready